Well, there seems to be no let-up in the number of demonstrations that are being held across the island to protest against the latest fuel price hike. Incidentally, many of these demonstrations were of a creative nature.
The opposition members of the Yatinuvara Pradeshya Sabha wore black bands and arrived on bicycles at the Pradeshya Sabha premises. As the opposition group, we are challenging the government to provide relief to the people by reducing fuel prices and the prices of food items. A tense situation arose when the opposition members entered the Pradeshya Sabha premises. Meanwhile, Southern Provincial Councillor Bandulal Bandarigoda, accompanied by a group of councillors, arrived at the Provincial Council today carrying a model loaf of bread. Councillors who protested against the increase in fuel prices also read out a statement opposite the Provincial Council. A promotion has been given. The price of a loaf of bread is 45 rupees. The poor people can't live today. Prices of everything have increased. From the price of a milk packet to the water bill and electricity tariffs, everything has gone up. Now the government is talking of a human rights problem and taking to the streets. They have forgotten the burning problems of the people. The opposition councillors of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council who wore black bands also carried lamps to the council premises.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, states that inefficiency is the sole reason for increasing fuel prices. Issuing a communique, the UMP Deputy Leader reiterates that an increase in world oil prices is not the reason for the latest fuel price hike. The communique issued by MP Sajith Premadasa states that the reason cited by the government for the fuel price hike, specifically an increase in world oil prices and the difficulty in obtaining fuel, are unacceptable. Premadasa notes that there has only been a minor price increase in the world market which could even have been disregarded. The Deputy Leader of the United National Party states that increasing the price of petrol by a small percentage, increasing diesel by a high percentage and increasing kerosene by an even higher percentage is a methodology that is not adopted by any third world country. He notes that a litre of kerosene is provided to fishermen and the farmer community at 106 rupees when it could be provided at a lower price. Premadasa highlights the hedging agreement, importation of substandard petrol and the process of supplying low sulfur fuel to the Yugadanavi power plant as reasons for the losses suffered. MP Sajith Premadasa states that decisions such as not making use of the oil storage facility constructed 10 years ago in Mutturajavela and also not making use of the CPC bowsers for transporting fuel has led to the loss of millions of rupees. Premadasa points out that the amount due to the CPC from state institutions stands at 89 billion rupees. He emphasizes that if the corporation cannot obtain the money due to it, then the government should pay off the massive debt in order to make the corporation viable and stop robbing the people of their money.
The Colombo District Court issued an enjoining order today, preventing the official residence of the Mayor of Colombo being handed over to a third party.
Colombo District Judge G.A.D. Ganepula issued the order after considering a petition filed by UPFA CMC Councillor Mohammed Maruf. The enjoining order will be effective until the 9th of March. The Mayor of Colombo, A.J.M. Muzammil, Municipal Commissioner Badrani Jayawardena and the CMC have been cited as respondents in the case. The petition states that the mayor had granted permission to use his official residence until renovation work on opposition leader Ranil Wickramasinghe's office is completed and that permission from the council had not been granted for this. Mahruf's petition also claims that it is inappropriate for the official residence of the mayor to be used in such a manner and is an insult, and therefore this should be prevented.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe had written to the Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa on the 17th of January seeking permission to use the mayor's residence until repair work on the opposition leader's office was completed. Well, you're watching Primetime News on MTV Sports. Up next is Action TV.
Since the 17th of this month, students at the Handru Kanda Vidyalaya in Palmadulla, which is under the Ratnapura Education Zone, have become spectators to such verbal spats between teachers from time to time. These documents establish that the root cause for the climate of conflict which has arisen at this rural school, hindering the development of the school and eating at the children's time, was created by provincial education authorities. A secretary of the Sabragamuwa province chief minister had handed over the responsibilities of the position of principal to a teacher who had not yet completed probation. Astoundingly, this decision had been taken while the senior most teacher at the school, who has been serving for 36 years, had been carrying out the duties of principal since the 19th of January. Ideally, a letter should have been issued making one of the thousands who have passed the examinations held in accordance with the constitution of the Sri Lanka Principal Service and who have the necessary qualifications, principal of the Handru Kanda Vidyalaya. Statements made by the teacher who had not even completed a probation period but had still been appointed to oversee the duties of the principal go to show that political influence was behind this illegal and unethical letter issued by senior public administration officials in the Sabragamuwa province.
The organizer for Palmadulla and the Provincial Minister of Roads and Infrastructure, Honorable Rahu Maduma, has put me in this position. I know I will not be here forever. I lack qualifications and experience.
Politicians who seem addicted to granting positions to the unqualified also intervene and use higher officials and various mechanisms to establish these unqualified persons in these positions even when they prove themselves to be grossly incompetent. This letter issued on the 24th of February by an acting secretary of the Sabragamuwa province chief minister is one such mechanism. What the acting secretary has done through this letter is, he has taken away the position that was granted to the teacher who had not even completed her probation, while at the same time telling her that she may remain in the position until a suitable candidate is found. This is even after this person has failed to accept the inventory of this school and has burdened the unjustly treated senior most teacher with this responsibility.
Like a security guard, I am looking after the inventory. This is a big problem for me.
Isn't it clear that the conflict at the Handru Kanda Vidyalaya has been caused by blatant political interference? Governor of the Central Province, this one is over to you. The ruling on the preliminary objections in the High Court case filed in the Colombo High Court against former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca was postponed for the second time today.
Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca was brought to the Colombo High Court today. The rulers who didn't show gratitude to the war heroes are now helpless before the UN. At the start of court proceedings, Attorney-at-Law Salia Pires, while filing preliminary objections, said that two similar cases had been filed against his client, former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca, and a verdict was delivered in the first one, the court-martial. He said there were no provision in the law to file two cases on the same issue, and hence the case should be dismissed. While both parties presented evidence in this regard, Attorney-at-Law Salia Pires, representing Fonseca, filed the charges and evidence filed during the court-martial in the High Court as well. At this point, Judge Sunil Rajapaksa said that since facts pertaining to the ruling need to be further studied, it will be postponed to 1:30 p.m. on the 15th of March. Where were those who are now saying they will die for the country during the war?
Attorney-at-Law Ajit Pathrana told court that it is disappointing that the police have been unable to arrest MP Duminda Silva even after he was named a suspect in connection with the killing of 4 people, including Bharatha Lakshman Premachandra. In response, the police said that the discussions were being held with the Attorney General pertaining to the arrest of the MP.
When the magisterial inquiry was taken up today, Attorney-at-Law Ajit Pathrana, representing the Premachandra family, told court that there was no need for discussions with the Attorney General's department pertaining to the arrest of MP Duminda Silva. The additional magistrate pointed out that the decision taken to name MP Duminda Silva as a suspect still stands. While the 16 suspects connected to the incident were produced before the Colombo Additional Magistrate Prasanna Alves today, they were ordered to be produced before court on the 13th of March.
The 12th death anniversary of the founder of the Yoshida Educational and Social Service Foundation, Madam Takiko Yoshida, was commemorated today. Minister of Power and Energy, Champika Ranawaka, was the chief guest at the commemorative event that was held at the Abhayasekara Ramaya in Sapugaskanda.
Minister Champika Ranawaka, who arrived at the temple, was welcomed by students of the Yoshida preschool. The group, including the minister, was escorted to the stage by the junior band. Madam Takiko Yoshida tirelessly endeavored to raise preschool education in the country to the next level. Madam Takiko Yoshida had made a financial donation to Venerable Banagala Upatissatera to establish the Yoshida Educational and Social Service Foundation, centering the Abhayasekara Ramaya in Sapugaskanda. Incidentally, she was awarded the Sri Lanka Ranjana National Honour by the Government of Sri Lanka in recognition of her service to preschool education in the country. Moreover, a section of the road up to the Sapugaskanda junction at the Biyagama Free Trade Zone had been named Takiko Yoshida Road.
Madam Takiko Yoshida is a person who came forward on behalf of the people in this country. We conducted a survey and she helped to establish this nursery. According to that survey, it is only around 5% of children who enter preschool in the country. Over a period of 4 decades, there is no village without a preschool. It is the Abhayasekara Ramaya and Madam Yoshida who initiated this revolution. It is unfortunate that we have been unable to transplant the commitment of Japanese nationals and their methodologies in our nation. However, it is not too late. I hope that the necessary environment will be given to our children through institutions such as Yoshida Preschool.
A souvenir was presented to Venerable Banagala Upatissatera at the occasion.